Rinse takes your laundry and hand-delivers it to your door, expertly cleaned and folded. So you could take the time once spent folding and sorting and waiting to finally pursue a whole new version of you. Like Tea Time You. Or this Tea Time You. Or even this Tea Time You.
Said you hear about Dave?
Or even Tea Time You.
So update on Dave.
It's up to you. We'll take the laundry. Rinse. It's time to be great.
And it happened when I was on the field getting carted off to go in the ambulance. And I just remember this vividly, my parents being there. My whole family was there. And I wanted to make sure before anything happened, I wanted them to see me smile. Let them know that it was gonna be okay and I'm gonna be fine. And I remember when those doors shut, I just remember almost breaking down to the point where I was just like, once again, you said, not again. And that's what I thought. All this work that I put in, what was it for?
What if you were going into your senior year at Maryland? It's the most important football season of your life. You have the draft impending. You have the thing that most college football players look forward to, which is the combine, the time for you to shine. And then on your second game, you break your leg. And you have to sit there all year wondering whether you're going to get drafted at all. You have to make the decision to miss the NFL combine and just show up at pro day and run your fastest, because you know if you show up to the combine and don't run your fastest, you are cooked. Well, this story right here, my man Nolan Carroll stuck with the process, fought with the rehab for his leg, only to find himself in an illustrious NFL career. Come check it out.
Sharp French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time, I confirmed it. A whole society determined to
Please welcome Nolan Carroll.
How you doing? I like the theme music, man.
What's that?
I like the theme music.
Do you like it? He's here. He's going to perform.
Is he?
Yeah.
I need to come back later.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. What's up, everybody? We're back at Lynch's Irish Pub in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. I got my boy Nolan Carroll here, 10-year NFL vet, played for the Miami Dolphins, the Philadelphia Eagles, and finished his career with the Dallas Cowboys. And he's doing some amazing things now with the next generation, with the college that he's coaching at. And man, I'm just super excited to have you on the show. Welcome, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So let's talk a little bit about it. You know, you have such a decorated career. I mean, I grew up as a young man wanting to play professional baseball. You know, my career stopped at Louisiana State University. But you, man, you know, went and played college ball at Maryland, right? And then drafted in 2010, had this amazing career. Talk to me about that, man. For the people that don't know your story, clue them in.
Yeah, so my story, it's interesting because I just talked to my guys about this today. As a matter of fact, I always just, anytime there was a test in front of me, and I think it's because of my parents, my mom and my dad, anytime there was a challenge in front of me, I always embraced a challenge. I never felt like I needed to run away and hide from the challenge. And many people that don't know my situation, I broke my leg in high school, my senior year of high school, before I got to Maryland. And then 5 years later in my career at Maryland, just trying to work up to the ranks of a starter, finally getting my shot, getting my opportunity on the Thorpe Award watch list, which means top defensive back in the nation. I have these preseason accolades. I'm supposed to be a second-round pick, late first-round pick. So all these different things are going back and forth as far as the player that's about to come out for his senior season. And then I break my leg again, my senior year. So I missed my entire senior year. So I have to bounce back and really attack rehab. And there's a whole bunch of questions now as far as, am I going to get drafted? Am I going to be a free agent? And it was just one of those things where through those persevering times, it really tests if you really want it, if you really want to be disciplined, if you want to fight through. So for me, it was just one of those things where anytime I was presented with that test, I just said, all right, this is another test for me to get better, because I know on the other side is where the prize is. So that's been my career, and that's why I've been able to manifest the things that I have, because anytime there's a test, I never shy away from it. I always attack it.
This is big, right? So I want the audience to understand that when the things get hard in your life, it's not the time to shut down and downshift and maybe find that plan B. There is no plan B.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean, here again, like you could have said your senior year, here we go again.
Yep.
Victim mentality, boo-hoo, I broke my leg again. And at that point, I mean, you're a young man. You're a collegiate athlete. At that point, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
And you have to go through those moments where, is this going to even happen now?
Yeah.
Am I going to have my shot?
Exactly.
If I'm a free agent, am I going to get my opportunity?
Exactly.
And yet, you still got drafted.
Yeah.
Right? So it says something. You had a successful NFL career. Like, that's special, though. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that can, go through that moment. So let's talk about the moment when you did break your leg your senior year. Because I know you had the tools to get through it, but there had to have been something in the back of your mind that said, oh man, like, what's my life going to be like now?
Yes. And it happened when I was on the field getting carted off to go in the ambulance. And I just remember this vividly, my parents being there. My whole family was there. And I wanted to make sure before anything happened, I wanted them to see me smile. Like, let them know that it was going to be okay and I'm going to be fine. And I remember when those doors shut, I just remember almost breaking down to the point where I was just like, once again, you said, not again. And that's what I thought. All this work that I put in, what was it for? And then I just remember quickly, once I started getting x-rays and they're cutting my pants because I couldn't take it off myself, I said, now is the time where you have to understand and prepare your mind. Once the surgery is over, once you understand the whole dynamics of what's going to happen, the next day is when rehab starts, realistically. And that's what you got to get your mind right for. You can't reverse time. You can't go back on the field and try and fix it.
You can't unbreak the leg.
You can't do it. So you're here now. This is what you need to do. This is what you understand. And it really comes down to being in the moment. Whether it's good and bad, you have to be in the moment and understand that you can get through it or you can obtain what you're trying to obtain. And that's what I did.
I love that, man, because so many times, and I can say even in my life too, when shit gets hard, it's like, that's the time for you to lean into that pain.
You have to.
Right? So what you're talking about in that back of that ambulance, you didn't stray away from that and push it down and kind of, try to sidestep it. You're like, okay, this hurts. Like, this is real. But I'm going to lean into this emotion and the physical part of the rehab. And then lo and behold, man, you did have that moment where your name was called in the 5th round, right? Talk to us about that moment, what that moment meant to you after everything you had been through.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
So, you're about to make a trade based on a friend's text. But which you do you listen to? Is it, oh, we could buy a house in Tulum? Get optioning those options. We could lose everything. Or, let's do a little research. Get your head in the trade and make the investment decision that's right for you. Learn more at finra.org/trade-smart.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
Yeah, so once getting into it, I knew all I could do was just rehab. I knew I couldn't take care of the draft stuff. I couldn't worry about what scouts were thinking. That was out of my control. And I just knew, let me control what I can't control. I knew that I can go to rehab. How many times can I go to rehab? All right, 3 times a day. If I can go 3 times a day, I'm going 3 times a day.
Sure.
What are you doing when you get home? I wasn't in school anymore. I had finished school. So the next thing was, okay, you can find time to rehab in between. So when I got home, that's all I did was rehab. When I went to rehab, I rehabbed. When I got back home, I rehabbed again. So I'm always talking to my guys, especially my team, about creating time. And if you can find ways to create time, that extends time later on for you. And that's what I was able to do and create. And as time grew on and I met somebody, it's probably one of the best trainers, I think, in the world, Chip Smith. He's in Atlanta. Champ Bailey was his first guy. Brian Urlacher was another one. Keith Brook and Jerry Zuma. All those guys were Pro Bowlers.
Some names, right?
Yes. and he's had many other guys since then. But I remember when I got to him, he told me, and this was January when I started, he said, by the end of the month, I'm going to get you running again. And I was shocked, but he stayed on me. So the stuff that I was able to do at Maryland, pushing myself to create time, he was able to create more time for me, because when I was with him, we were only concentrated on getting better. When I rehabbed. But when I got back with him, it was still more about creating time again. And by the end of the month, right before the combine, as a matter of fact, I was ready to run, and he told me not to run, because he said, look, the week after is your pro day. Let's go ahead and keep attacking. Let's just go ahead and keep attacking rehab training. And then finally, when it was my time to actually run, I showed those scouts that I was back to where I was supposed to be. And it was all because of me understanding that I can create the momentum to get me to where I need to go. And once I went through that process of the combine and my workouts, teams were comfortable enough to invest that investment in me, because they saw that he broke his leg. We saw the medical report. We got all the information we need on him. But yet he's still back. He's still here. He still ran a good time.
Yeah.
And all these other qualities that we saw before he broke his leg, they're still there as a player.
They're even better now at that point, right?
And that was when Miami pulled the trigger. And they knew and I remember this, I remember talking to Coach Sperano, Todd Bowles, Jeff Ireland. I talked to all those guys. I looked them straight in the face and I said, look, I'm ready. I'm good. If you're willing to take this chance on me, I'm not going to let you down. And that's exactly what happened. So.
You see, that's the thing, though, man. That's what I think society is missing.
Yeah.
You know, and you had great role models. You talk about your mom and your dad. You learned a lot from them, and being able to lean into those moments. See, that's amazing, right? It's like, hey, you saw the medical report. You know, I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll. How much trust did it take for you, though? Because when your coach said you're not going to run at the combine, like, where'd your mind go? I mean, let's be honest. Like, that's the time. Like, when you turn on the TV, NFL Combine, you're watching dudes run that 40.
Oh, yeah.
So how did that play in your mind?
That's all you dream about.
Yeah.
As a football player, you don't dream about the draft day. You dream about the combine.
Yeah.
Because you know that's where you can actually display your skills amongst the best of the best.
Right.
And for me, that's all I thought about for the 5 years I was in college, was that. Because I was fortunate enough to go to school with Sean Merriman, who was the 7th overall pick.
Yeah.
Vernon Davis, who was the 6th overall pick. Darius Haber-Bay, who was the 7th overall pick. Those guys, when they were on display at the combine, that's what got their status there. And I knew at Maryland, we were a mid-tier school, meaning as far as the status of who we were, but we still played big games.
Yep.
My thing was, if they're going to consider me just average, if I go to the combine, if I go to the Senior Bowl, I want to blow it out the water to where they understand, all right, this is a gem in the draft, and his draft stock is rising. That's what I wanted to hear. But when Chip pulled me to the side, he said, I don't want you doing anything. I said, everything that I work for, should not be for naught. I need to do this. But he said, look, if you don't run a good time, that's just going to reinforce you being hurt and you're still hurt. You need to do it in a comfortable setting. You need to do it at your college where you understand the setting. You understand your position coach, your strength conditioning coach. You know they're going to be at your place. So if they're going to be at your place, everything that you've done to train yourself is familiar for you. And you'll be able to run what you need to run. And when he said it and he explained it that way to me, I was able to put the full picture together. And a lot of the times we don't understand the full picture because we're only thinking about right now.
Exactly.
And he had me look at the bigger picture. And I'm glad he did, because those guys were running slower times at the combine, because what people don't know is we're the last group as far as DBs to run. So that means the turf is softer. If the turf is softer, you don't get to glide.
It's a lot of give.
Yes.
Yeah.
So guys were running 4.6, 4.7s, and it didn't look good. So if I was a guy to run and I ran a 4.7, it wouldn't have done well. And now I'd have to come back the next week to try and reinforce, hey, whatever happened last week, that was last week. Well, first impressions are very important in the NFL. Yeah. So he wanted to make sure my first impression was the best impression, and that's what ended up happening.
That's the thing about, we talk about you can't do things alone.
Yes.
So you have to trust your coaches. You have to trust your support. Let's move into the league now. 10 years. I mean, bro, you had these moments in college where you're fighting to get better. You spent 10 years 10 years in the league, man. What did that mean to you?
Me, I'm always gracious to God for that, first and foremost, because you never know. Like, you really never know if you're going to be able to play an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go into camp, yes, and most guys, when they go into camp, they feel like they've arrived.
Just beginning.
My thing was, I never felt like I arrived because I wanted to always prove that, no, I belong here.
Yeah.
Whether the injuries does not play a part in my mind, I'm proving to myself before I'm proving to anybody else that I belong here. And if I'm going to be here, I'm not going to waste my time here. So every time I stepped out on the field, I always was just thankful for it. And I remember when I played in Philadelphia, and this was the realest thing. One of our captains, Malcolm Jenkins, he should be a Hall of Famer. But he would always say this before practice. He's like, look, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you're sore. I don't care what you got going on at home. There's somebody right now that's working at McDonald's wishing that they could be on this field today.
Yep, exactly.
So you should always take every single day. You should always be grateful. Don't worry about the game. Only worry about practice and be thankful that you get to have a practice.
That's leadership, bro.
And when he said that, I mean, every single day I was just gracious for it because I knew not everybody gets this opportunity. So anytime I just walk into the facility, leaving from the facility, being able to go somewhere and somebody knows I play for their favorite team, I took that to heart and I made sure that any time I was out there on the field, I was playing for that person. That Uber driver that was taking me to a restaurant. That little kid that saw me at camp and I had his autograph. That person that saw me in the restaurant and I took a picture with their son or daughter. Like, those are the people that I was doing it for. So every time I was out on the field, I knew my why.
Yeah.
And once I knew my why, that makes you just play so much more free because you understand that somebody is watching you. They're not just watching the team anymore.
Yeah.
They're watching, oh, I know that guy. I feel a part of that team more because of that player. So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I don't know if a lot of people think of it that way, but like, you talk about playing for the fans. Like, my wife is a big Eagles fan. Like, when they won the Super Bowl, like, I went to an Eagles bar.
You saw another side of her.
Bro.
I know you did.
She's scary. You're going to meet her in a second. Okay. She's here. But dude, like, crazy. Like, I'm rooting for the Eagles. And one of the Eagles fans trying to fight me in an Eagles bar while I'm rooting for their team in the Super Bowl.
I'm not surprised.
It's crazy.
But
dude, that's a great point, man. And I love that there are some professional athletes that keep that in mind. Because there are some that just go out there and do it because, like, hey, this is all me.
Yeah.
It's not. There's a big community that you don't even see.
Yeah.
That their whole day depends on, like, how they perform. Like, yeah, bro.
Life,
I mean, I'm that way with LSU football.
Yeah.
LSU football loses, like, I'm depressed. Like, I'm yelling at. I'm the worst LSU fan. I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm on par with every other LSU fan.
Okay.
We are bad. Oh no, we're bad because, like, if they lose, you guys suck. You know, but
so it's almost like the NFL. I played with so many guys from LSU, and they used to say it's championship or bust.
Dude, you can't. Yeah. If you don't win an Natty there, it's
nothing.
Same thing with baseball, man. I play baseball there, and when we got beat in Omaha, we come back and people are filming like, what happened?
Oh,
We too barbecued, man. But listen, I want to transition a little bit because I do not want to miss about what you're doing now with the college that you're coaching, what you're doing for the next generation. So you're a head coach now. I believe you're working with your brother?
Yes, my brother.
So talk to me about that. What are you doing?
Yeah, so we call it JA still. It's called Jacksonville Athletic Academy. It's Jacksonville Athletic Christian College as well. And my brother came up with this idea during COVID, of all times. And I remember we were driving from South Florida, and he said, Nolan, what is the one thing that's missing right now? What do you see the dynamic of college football? Like, what do you see that's going on? And I started telling him there's a lot of kids that are missing out on opportunities to continue to keep playing. It's not the same as when we grew up, where we had coaches that were pushing us to be sold to be recruited by schools. And he said, yes, that's a problem. But also, too, just with all this other stuff that's going on in college football, the high school kids are losing out on opportunities to go to the next level. And as he started piecing this together, he said, look, let's create a football program that's going to cater to these kids that have missed out on an opportunity to go to school. Let's help them get film, show them what they need to do to go to the next level. And just based with the experiences that I have and the coaches that I know, the people that I know, I sat back and started thinking, if we can piece this together the right way, meaning if I can show the coaches that I know, that there's talented kids that are in the area of Jacksonville that can be on your team, not to be the guy, but to be that person that can be an impact player on your team and be a leader. That's what you need. And someone that you don't have to worry about paying NIL deals to, that just is only concentrated on coming to this team to see how he can help you win and keep your job. That's the bottom line. And for us, as this thing is growing, this is our 4th year now, and we've got 11 kids out to different schools, Division I, Division II. And the thing we pride ourselves on is understanding that all our kids are starting somewhere right now. We have 11 kids that are at Division I, Division II schools, and they're all starters. And they pride themselves on understanding the values that we created here at JA, so that when they do go to these other schools, these kids are chasing the money, they're chasing the attention. Our kids are chasing the play time, the opportunity to play there, and then be that impact leader so that they know that when it's time, I can go somewhere else. So they understand the system. We built the culture within our school to understand a system somewhere else so they can thrive and understand how to be better for themselves and gain that confidence to build their own brand and be that identity so that they can show somebody else and keep that going. So it's been a great ride.
Dude, that's sick,
It's
bro.
been a great ride, man. And this team this year, though, I honestly believe this is the best team I've had because those guys get it.
Yeah.
I test them every single day, and they're just like, what's the next challenge?
Yeah, where you got.
And that's what you want.
But see, also that is indicative of who you are, right? So leadership, right, it rolls downhill.
Yeah.
If you weren't that guy and you didn't display that for them, they wouldn't be responding like that.
Yeah.
So that's big, man. What has it meant to you to come back and do something like that? Because the biggest thing that I'm hearing here is you're preparing kids to go into that next system to be successful in play, while everybody else is worried about social media, all their commitment photos, NIL, what can I get? It's completely independent of the actual gridiron.
Yes. So you've known this. Keep the main thing the main thing.
Yep.
We've lost sight of what the main thing is. The main thing's always been football, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm teaching them the same fundamentals of football. The football stuff is what gets you the deals. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
I've never just played football for a year and then got my deal to Nike or got my deal to Under Armour. It's never happened that way. I had to make plays on the field first to get those deals. And once I started explaining to these guys the work that you do every day, coming early, taking notes, making sure that you're preparing before practice, that's the creating time I'm talking about. Creating time for your highlight film. The longer your highlight film is, that means you're doing something right. It's not just putting plays to put plays out there. It's showing a coach, what technique am I playing with? What system am I playing in? How efficient am I doing that? Right away, coaches only look at a minute of film. So in that minute is very crucial for me to understand what I need to do and how I need to do it. Because I know if I do it right, everything else is going to come to me. I don't have to chase the deals. The deals are going to come to me. And I don't have to worry about the things that are out of my control.
Yeah.
I can't control that, but I know I can control my work ethic and my discipline. If I do that, I'll get those deals easily.
It's massive. You're talking about focusing on the process, right? You're talking about focusing on your craft. That's what you're there to do. All the other stuff is going to come.
Exactly.
And that's what I've brought into the show. It's like, I can't worry about where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I got to worry about this right here with Nolan Carroll. And then everything else takes care of itself.
Yep.
We keep fighting and fighting. Before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want you to do one thing for me.
Okay.
I want you to give the youth the best advice you can give them right now, whether they're baseball players, musicians, football players, doesn't matter. What would you tell them if they're sitting right here in front of you right now?
I would tell them don't rush it. Don't rush it. I mean, if you rush it, you'll never be ready for it, and then you'll lose it. Don't rush it at all. You have to be patient. With this whole game of life, it's about patience. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I'm still learning it still to this day.
Are
I'm
we
struggling
all?
with it.
Yeah.
But if you're a young person that sees or tries to compare yourself to somebody else, don't do that. Their timeline is different from yours. So you have to understand, be patient with your work. Be patient with your preparation. Make sure that when the time actually comes, you'll be ready for it. Because if you try and force it, you start doing somebody else's job. You start doing too much, and then you lose that opportunity. And you don't want to do that because you'll repeat the cycle again and again until you get it right. So you might as well be patient with it and prepare. And when that time comes, hey, everything that you've done, it'll show. So never rush it.
Love it, man. Thank you. You guys heard it. Don't rush it. Be patient. Follow the process. Nolan Carroll, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bro.
No problem, bro.
Much
Appreciate
love,
it.
man.
Sure,
Thank
bro.
you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. That was great. Appreciate it.
We're going to bring this. What I've always found is all the flavors, you can taste artificial flavoring in them. With raw, it's exactly that. I don't taste that. It's a clean protein source. Tastes great, and I'm not putting a lot of things in my body that aren't good for you. The biggest thing that I will say that I love about Raw Nutrition and Bum Energy is they're all natural ingredients and they're third-party tested. So what that means is an actual lab test is to make sure what's in the product is actually what is stated on the label. And then you'll see on the website of Raw Nutrition that it is signed off on. So there's no banned substances in these products. Athletes can use them safely and not get tested and popped for a failed drug test for performance enhancing, ingredients. It's completely safe, guilt-free, baby. George Garcia, my man, hey, thanks so much. Dude, you're a local guy from Jacksonville Beach, the beaches. This is a community. How does it feel for you to create something and grow something that can help this community out and for you to just see it get better, man?
You know, First Beaches Insurance is so important to me, but more important to me is the beaches community. My family's been in this area for over 100 years. It's who we are. We care about the people. We care about the businesses. We just love seeing this place prosper.
That's amazing, dude. And just thank you so much for being here today, supporting this event, 10-year anniversary of Adaptive and helping the Determined Society, just in everything that we're doing here. You're truly, truly outwardly focused. And I had no idea your family's been here for over 100 years. That's a legacy, man. Talk to me about that because that's big.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. People always say, how are you, Garcia? It was just a guy that came over on a boat in Cuba in 1875, and we ended up in Jacksonville, Florida. And been at the beach ever since. Okay. It's just a place we love.
This is beautiful. I tell you what, I'm a big fan. I'm so happy to meet you. I love what you do with the Trevor Lawrence wig.
Yeah.
You really dive into the creative part of this whole business and the outreach to the community. I just think it's great to see, and I wish more people were doing that. How'd you come up with that?
So the wig idea was it was a gift for my son who was 4 years old, but he wouldn't wear it. And so I started wearing it. And I mean, I'm Duval till I die, for sure. We're Jaguars all the way. So the wig, everyone loves it. Everyone loves Trevor, so that's just something we do to try to keep it light. It's just insurance,
Right. Well, you got to liven it up a little bit, right?
That's right.
And, Trevor, you guys locked him down for some more. He's staying. That's a big deal. Big deal for the community.
Big for my content too.
Absolutely, because dude, what if you had to get like a short wig?
I know. We can't do that again.
Your whole brand would be off.
Exactly. So we got him locked in for 7 years. That's 7 more years of content. We're ready to go.
Beautiful, man. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you, George. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.
FBI, First Beaches Insurance, right here in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Peace.
See ya.
Sharp French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time. I confirmed it. A whole society determined.
Next up is a little song from CarMax about selling a car your way.
You wanna sell those wheels, you wanna get a CarMax instant offer.
So fast.
Wanna take a sec to think about it.
Or like a month.
Wanna keep tabs on that instant offer.
With Offer Watch.
Wanna have CarMax pick it up from your driveway. Get it done today. You wanna do
So, wanna drive? CarMax. Pickup not available everywhere. Restrictions and fee may apply.